I wish to find a husband. It's the time we have a family, children.
Then let us find your husband.
Simon, he still gets me. That was a scene from the Netflix mega hit series Bridgerton, executive produced by the famed Shonda Rhimes. It quickly became Netflix's #1 show here in the U.S. and in more than 80 countries. Bridgerton takes viewers back to Regency-era England in the early 1800s, where a multiracial cast engages in some steamy court intrigue. And the ruler of that court is provoking some intrigue of her own, a mixed-race British queen based on a real-life but little-known figure from history. When a black woman emerged as Queen of England on Bridgerton, it puzzled an audience mostly unaware of the real royal's ancestry. It had to have been, like, sort of whispered.
Yes, it was floating around. It was floating around in Jamaica, for sure.
Researcher Mario Valdez is the foremost authority on Queen Charlotte, the German-born princess who married King George III, the British monarch who lost America in the Revolution.
We were two separate societies, divided by color, until a king fell in love with one of us.
In the Netflix series, everyone recognizes Charlotte's African roots. In real life, it took some convincing.
She's light-skinned. She's a German princess, but she showed very definite African features.
You saw it immediately.
Oh, immediately. There was no ifs, ands, or buts. I couldn't believe. And from then on, I just started working on her genealogy. And finally, it took me for almost 5 years.
That research, commissioned by PBS in 1997, traced Charlotte's ancestry 15 generations to Madrigana, the Moorish mistress of King Afonso III of Portugal. From her descendants, Charlotte inherits at least 492 lines of African ancestry. Are you like the first researcher to come up with this?
Yeah, believe it or not, I am.
Following his publication, a spokesperson for Buckingham Palace told the Boston Globe, "This has been rumored for years and years. It is a matter of history, and frankly, we've got far more important things to talk about." Congratulations. It became a talking point when Prince Harry proposed to a biracial American actress named Meghan Markle.
Queen Sophia Charlotte was Queen of England and Queen of America, and she's a woman of mixed race heritage.
The same year, Stephanie Myers authored The Invisible Queen.
And the more I dug into it, the angrier I got. And I felt like, come on, I've been through school all these years and I don't know this.
Myers believes that when Prince Harry and Meghan Markle tied the knot, there were nods to Charlotte all around.
They got married on her birthday. They got married at Windsor Chapel, and she loved to pray there. They got the title, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. That was named after Queen Charlotte's son. He was the first Duke of Sussex.
He was also an ardent abolitionist, following in his mother's footsteps.
One of the things that Queen Charlotte decided early on was to make friends with some of the top abolitionists of the day. And then she decided she was not going to eat sugar because sugar was grown under slavery. So as a form of protest, she said, I'm not going to eat sugar. And they did a cartoon of her in the late 1700s where you can see her face clearly looking very Negroid, I guess you would say, her features. She was an abolitionist, and she made it very plain.
I've always loved this portrait of our ancestor, Queen Charlotte.
Even a Lifetime special based on the romance of the present-day Duke and Duchess chimed in.
Oh, yes. You're of mixed race, Harry. So am I.
Why doesn't the Queen just come out and say it?
She can't. She may not. It's one of the things that the royal family cannot do. She would be stepping into political water.
You're saying that having black lineage is political in today's times?
Highly political.
A point proven in 2008 when artist Ken Apgar was commissioned by the Mint Museum in Charlotte, North Carolina, to explore the 18th century portrait by Sir Allan Ramsay, a portrait used as propaganda in the colonies to win over enslaved blacks to Britain during the Revolutionary War.
Depending on who was looking at the painting, if it was a black person or a white person, they saw her very differently.
6 square panels of the immigrant queen, the botanist and patroness of Kew Gardens, the music lover and mentor of Mozart, all below glass with statements meant to elicit conversation.
A few younger people in the group that I was interviewing, one said, "No, she's just British. I don't see her being black." And this black, I think he was an art student, was looking at her, and he was so exercised about asserting that she was black, and he said to her, "Oh, yeah, she is."
What ultimately does it mean?
What I found so moving about what he said, everybody wants to feel they can be anything in the world. They can be whatever they want to be.
As low as you can go, Lady Danbury? With these knees? Yes, Your Majesty.
Perhaps the very reason why Bridgerton the series drew such a huge audience. If someone had told you the most watched program on Netflix would end up being a story about the Black Queen of England.
So people, I think, fell in love with Bridgerton because all the characters that were there, that were all mixed up, it was just fantastic. And in America, we need to get past all this division, all this conflict, all this hatred. That's not who we are. And so by taking stories like Queen Charlotte and Bridgerton, we can move to another level. And that's what we want to do.
What's so significant about this is that Africans, period, have been so erased from the normalcy of world history. And this just proves, I mean, it just tells a tale of how the African diaspora was all over the place with significant individuals as part of it.
And your question and the answer that why can't the Queen just say, yes, this is a part of our past, it's unbelievable in today's time.
Even today.
Fascinating story.
Great stuff, Michelle.
Thank you.